Here I am again, fellow revivalist, with another cup of coffee. Let me take a sip. Just want to say real quick, thanks for watching, anyone out there who's watching. And if this channel is really blessing you, help spread the love, somewhere in here. You see all these people who are professional YouTubers point to different things on the screen. But somewhere in here, you can subscribe, and you'll be updated with posts whenever I make them. Right now I'm doing a lot of posts because I'm trying to create content, have a backlog of posts. So if someone sees a video they like, there's not only one to pick from, but they can check out several videos and see where it's at. With all that said, man, Jason Upton was at Bethel, Atlanta this morning. And not only did he lead worship, which is what he's known for, but he also delivered a message that was just really impactful. He talked about how, with our Western thought, sometimes the way we relate to our path in God and what we're going to do is just one steady plane that rises higher and higher, which I totally agree. But at the same time, he was comparing that to the experiences that are necessary both on the mountaintop and in the valley, and how sometimes it looks like this, which is kind of like a wavelength or a sound. In quantum physics, there's a thing that they call string theory. And basically, when you go all the way down to the smallest part of an atom, it's basically these strings, almost like the strings of an instrument, and they have different sounds. And then if you look at the biggest part of the universe, the way the galaxies move in the universe is also kind of like a sound wave. And they call this string theory, where the smallest part and the biggest part are basically have the same function, the same way of just being in existence. And so Upton was talking about how we need to see our path in God. At the mountaintop is not more important than the valley, but to go from peak to peak, we've got to go through that valley in between to get to that next higher point. Recently on a podcast, me and Steve Brimner, if you want to check it out, it's Just Your Average YouTube is his channel. I don't have the URL. I'll try to link to it. We were discussing a conversation that began with the aim of talking about purity, but we ended up talking about macro and micro revelation, the way God speaks to us prophetically through our relationship with Him on a grand scale or on a small scale, on a mountaintop or on a valley. And this was just a couple of days before we had this experience this morning with Jason Upton. So God might speak to you when it's a visionary, when it's take the nations, when it's what you're going to do for your generation type voice and cause and triumph. He may speak to you when it just has to do with invading your heart in a new way and on a new level and getting closer to Him. And each experience is important. The mountaintop might be the macro revelation, and the valley might be the micro revelation, but they've all come together. And this is just a new kind of cosmic theory, I guess you could say, that I'm developing. And I was really touched when Jason Upton shared on this. There's a lot more to it. I don't want to steal his thunder. If you go to the Bethel Atlanta podcast, I'm sure that message will be up there soon. I really recommend listening to it. And when the podcast comes out, I don't know if this video will post first, but we have a podcast at fireonyourhead.com. And the next one that comes out, we're going to be talking about this macro and micro revelation in a lot more detail. We'll add some Bible verses in there, especially the depths of God, 1 Corinthians 2, and things like that. But stay tuned. If this is blessing you, please just maybe share it and leave some comments or if you have any questions. And this is just my first introductory video on this subject. I plan on doing many more. Thanks, Revivalists, and you guys have a great week.